Good morning, math kiddos. Today's video is brought to you by Miss Banuelos. And Miss Benavente and I are actually here at McFadden, so we may stop by each period just to check on you. But we are at a training in the Theatron. So thank you to our guest teachers and welcome to our classes. All right, kiddos. So today's plan, we are going to have you complete the do now, and then I will explain what the classwork is. And it's called the equivalent fraction scavenger hunt. But I will explain that. As usual, you do know what you're supposed to do. Sorry about that. You do know what you're supposed to do when you come into class. You are to take out your agenda, write down the homework, which is Wednesday's section of the homework worksheet, as well as Alex 5 topics, and then you are to complete the 2 problems in our do now. So I will start the timer for 3 minutes. Once the timer is up, we will go over the do now, and then I will explain the classwork. All right, so you should be just about finished. Let's go ahead and take a look. So what we are doing here in our do now is that we are creating equivalent fractions, right? So equivalent fractions can be created by multiplying by a giant 1. So let's see how we did here. So again, we are creating equivalent fractions multiplying by a giant 1. All right, so first I want to fill in, let me get this light. Okay. So this top number here, you were asked to fill it in with the number 33. Very good. Okay. And so multiplying by a giant 1 to create an equivalent fraction. So a giant 1, remember our numerator and our denominator is the same. Okay, so I asked myself 3 times what number equals 33? So yes, that would be 11. And since 11 is in the numerator, to create a giant 1, I will also need, yes, 11 in the denominator. So then I get to multiply 7 times 11 to finish creating my equivalent fractions. So 3/7 is equivalent to 33/77. Now, which one of these would be considered the one written in simplest form? That is correct. 3/7 is the one written in simplest form. All right, so the next one, our denominator, you were supposed to fill in with, that is correct, 40. Okay, so now let's use that to create our equivalent fraction. So we got to figure out, we need to multiply by 8 in order to create the 40. So my giant 1 is created by the same numerator and denominator. Multiply 4 times 8, which is, all right, yep, 32. Yep, and these are equivalent. 4/5 is equivalent to 32/48. Now, if I asked you which one is the fraction written in simplest form, remember it is the one with the version with the least amount of pieces, and that would be 4/5. But here we are multiplying by the giant 1 to create our equivalent fraction. All right, how many of you guys got those two correct? All right, whoop whoop. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back into what you're doing today. So today you are going to complete a seated scavenger hunt on equivalent fractions. So what we've done with equivalent fractions so far is similar to our do now. We've multiplied by a giant 1 to create equivalent fractions. And yesterday, we also created equivalent fractions by simplifying a fraction, right? So those are the types of problems you will see on today's seated scavenger hunt. And these are the expectations in which are on the slide and can be paused to make sure that you are noted throughout the period. But you are expected to work as a team, ask for help, and help your teammates. Everyone shows their work and do not move on to the next problem until everyone is ready. Okay. And of course, use your notebook for support. So let me go ahead and get back here. All right. So here we have, just make sure you put your name, your period, and again, the directions are here. But you are going to get started with the problem. Everyone shows their work here. Do not move on to the next one until everyone has completed and everyone understands. So here we have multiplying by a giant 1. So if anyone is stuck or the team is stuck, then that would take a look at page 35 in your notes, where we are creating equivalent fractions by multiplying by a giant 1. Okay, so here are the example problems. Okay, so then remember, once you show your work, once everyone's done that, whatever answer, so you have to fill in the whole thing, but then you're finding the question mark. So whatever ends up being the answer to the question mark, you got to look for the answer. So it may not be here for B, it may not be here for C, but you keep searching for the answer, and that will tell you, that will tell you which problem to complete next. Okay, so then you're going to go through this seated scavenger hunt and work your way through as a team. You will be hanging on to this, and then Ms. Benavente and I will be taking a look at it when we come back. Okay. All right, kiddos. So you have the rest of the period to work as a team and to complete your classwork. Have a great day.